Okay, so last episode, quick recap, we laid the center layer of the carbon fiber here. Okay, so what I've gone ahead and done is masked off the center section. This line right here that I taped across is actually the line where the fender would meet the hood when they were separate pieces. Basically what I'm doing now is just gonna lay the side sections on both sides of carbon, and then once I lay the epoxy resin, before it fully hardens, right before I roll out tonight, I'm gonna pull this tape up so it'll give me a nice crisp line where the two meet. Which came out to like roughly here maybe. And then what I basically did was sand the little bit of overlap that there was gonna be here, laid some tape so the center section didn't get a bunch of resin on it and get uneven. And then I just laid the sides in carbon fiber now. And then resined that out, waited for that to dry overnight, and then came in and did the exact same thing for the headlight buckets. Sanded it, laid the carbon fiber down, resined it out. And now, so the entire hood is covered again in the fourth and final layer. It's got some really nice seams up the body line, like the stock body line where the hood would basically be its own section. So what I'm gonna do now is just sand everything lightly with 80 grit so the epoxy adheres to it correctly. And then if we have enough time before the end of the day today, if it tacks up enough for us to hit it with another coat without having to sand it, I'll hit it with another real thick coat, because we're gonna try to maybe layer this up with 2, maybe 3 coats of epoxy to make sure this is all super slick. And then we'll sand it all completely flat, matte clear it, and then the front clip will be done.
Front
Except
hood.
for bracing from the inside, but we'll do that next.
You said lip. You meant to say hood.
Clip.
Oh,
Front clip.
got
Roll
me.
it back. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
Matte clear it, and then the front clip will be done. Front clamp, hood. I might call it a bunch of different things. Okay, well, let's get rolling.
Safety first.
Actually, these are old. Swap now.
Damn, look how much it filters.
Good filter fish. All right, so we sanded the whole outside of all of the entire hood, clip, clam, whatever we want to call it. So we're gonna go into laying resin. We're gonna lay it super thick.
Take one of ITB cell with the salmon smacker.
Hello, welcome to Street Bandito. We're now in the parts sales business.
So what you got for sale today?
We got some nice ITBs here, Urge Designs.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You wanna make 300 horsepower in a S2000 motor, NA, this is the way to go.
Not to mention, it sounds amazing.
Yes.
Let's throw in a couple sound clips right quick for you guys. Jeez Louise.
That was something.
Crazy.
No, but seriously, so we're just going full turbo for right now. There's no use of rebuilding it twice. So these are the Urge designs. They pretty much have every option you can option out on these things, but they're 52 millimeter. They make a ton of power. Like, he has done a ton of research on these things. We'll link his website with the link to this actual thing below. But if you're interested in these, just DM me at my Industry Garage Instagram. If you have a drive-by-wire, I think 2006 and up. If you have drive-by-wire, these they can work for you. That's what I did. This is a 2008 AP2 engine, and it had drive-by-wire, but it's a lot of work. So I really recommend this for anybody that's got an AP1 or AP2 that's non-drive-by-wire. And it comes with a vacuum distribution block, which you can mount your idle air control valve and your map sensor to, and then 4 little ports for these air lines to run to the bottom of each of these behind the throttle, so it's got correct. So you don't have to tune with alpha N, which is a lot of ITBs, you have to do that, and it's really annoying. It's got a new throttle position sensor, and it'll come with a little clip for it, so you just pin that on, and then the pins for all of these 440cc injectors also. So I'm selling for $1,800. I mean, or best offer if I don't get any offers, and you just hit me up.
OBO, but don't lowball, because
yeah, and I'll ship them too. So just
he's legit with shipping. It'll be packaged.
I mean, I got a wholesale account for shipping too. So these things are like $2,600. That's without the injector.
And he had a weight.
Yeah, and they're custom powder coated and everything like that.
You got the custom color option. We'll even have, like you say, we'll have the link to what you need.
Yeah.
All right.
You're trying to make a bunch of NA power and you got an S2000? DM me. So this is a notch spreader. And basically a normal spreader would have like a flat edge like this, and it'll lay it super thin. This, you can lay it in certain heights. So this is the depth. It'll leave the depth of maybe about like 1/3 of that. I mean 2/3 of that probably. And same with that. So if we want to lay it super thick and even, it'll have lines in it, but as soon as it levels out, it'll all be the same. I guess it'll lay out flat basically. But you want to make sure that you're not gonna, this will only really work for the top section. The sides, I mean, I'll still use it, but I might have to bump down to a smaller side because it'll start running. So the sides might need more love than the top, because the top's nice and flat and gravity will let it just chill. But,
right.
So that's what we're gonna do now.
Back to our scheduled program.
What sort of superpowers do you possess? Shred your eyeballs, overload your earballs, or give you patterns and swirls of color, and making you feel better and better. Yeah.
Your heart on the line, on those days I reach. 'Cause unlike other guys, I won't waste your time. I just wanna practice what I preach. I can make you feel good. I can make you feel good. Anything is good enough for you. I can make you feel good. I can make you feel good. You say I really want you.
Damn, your boy got some ramen. I don't even know what I'm getting into right now. Got my duck broth, hence why it's so oily. I learned that on the Food Network. Got ourselves some quality pork belly, 2 thick slices. I only got 2 in here. I think they only put 2. Oh damn, they finessed me. I got. They got me with 2 pieces, y'all. It's whatever. I don't need all that pork anyway. Ooh. Y'all probably like, I don't want to see no food. I want to see cars. I don't blame you. But you shall experience what I see today. You ain't put no egg in yours?
Not yet.
Oh. Go all in. Can't forget your vegetables. God, huh? That's some thick pork belly. That's what she said. That's not what she said.
Did you get it? Can you say street bandito?
Yes, we did know.
Say bye, Tim.
Bye, AJ.
Bye, Uncle Tim.
She don't want to go. Is that a Greg spot?
Here's my beer. Oh. So we'll let this fully cure, and then like normal, we're gonna sand it down, flatten it out, probably hit it with at least one more layer of resin.
What grit sandpaper you use? The same as before?
If it's super thick and I'm cutting through a lot, I'll use 40 grit, but probably 80, most likely 80. Probably a file too to get all the flat areas, but you'll see that later.
And then clear coat.
And then clear coat.
Damn, that's gonna be big.
Yeah. And I have all my brake stuff coming on Monday too.
Updates for days.
It's a lot going on.
Then we got update on this too. Matter of fact, let's just go check that out.
All right, so Josh was in here the other day working with me, and we added this bar right here, which is going to keep this way sturdier than it was before, and it is not in the way of the tire. We trimmed this, bolted this in here, put a tab in here. He also welded this bar right down here, threw another tab in there, so this is solid now. And then did the same thing over here, but we actually added a oil cooler mount. We borrowed Greg's Mishimoto oil cooler just to get placement, but I'm gonna order one of those anyways.
19 row, just so you guys know.
Yeah, yep.
Nice.
They
and
actually
beefy.
sell the whole S2000 kit that basically gets rid of this cooler, or actually you can mount it next to it, but
It's sandwich
it's a
plate,
sandwich plate, and then it runs the two guys, and it's already thermostatic itself.
which is extremely.
Which is really important because then it's not going to be cooling. So your engine actually heat up to operating temperature, then it opens it and actually starts cooling it. So it only cools it when you need it, and it lets you get to operating temperature quicker, which on a turbo car is actually really important. But so we did all that stuff. What else did Josh do? Oh, he also welded the tabs here for my sway bar. This is a ST suspension sway bar that we bought through our wholesaler and stuff like that. But yeah, so we welded these like studs inside here, and then
bolted it up. Now you got a sway bar. Link.
just hand tightened for now, but it's on there.
I had one quick question too, because there was a couple people mentioning about the frame rail holes.
Yeah. Okay. So these were intentionally left open because actually on the stock 240Z, these frame rails came to the end here, right? And they scooped in, and then there was a hole, and then there was another plastic piece that came in here, right? And there was like a little hole right here.
Like a nozzle.
Yeah, and basically that while you're driving, it scoops in air, and then on the interior there's a little pull tab. And this frame rail, all the air that's running through here runs into right here, and then on the inside here, there's actually a circular hole, and there's a little nozzle that comes out and goes like that, and then connected to this is a little pull tab, which opens a flap inside it. So while you're driving on the highway, it actually scoops in air and blows it at your feet.
Damn, it was beyond their
Stock
time.
in 70 before
Damn.
before they were like, you know, putting air conditioning in most cars.
Yo, that's super legit. Once you told me, I was like, yo, we gotta let them know, because they keep questioning, like, damn, why don't you block it off?
Yeah, so that's why I left those open.
All right, so it's
They were
intentional.
open. Yeah, stop. But I might figure out some way to run a little mini air duct somewhere where they're actually going to get more air, because where they are right now, they're probably not going to get too much. But not a big deal. And then I got my mirrors in from Japan.
Straight from Japan.
They're a little
Dirty.
yeah.
What's so special with these mirrors?
Well, a really cool part about them is that they have like a million different options, so you can option out to exactly what you want. But so you can get different stalk sizes. So this is their medium size, but they have an even longer one, a shorter one. They have ones that have bolts in the middle, so they can bend like an L. They have different size mounting tab sections you can buy, and then they have like 8 different style mirrors and 2 different style glass
And you said like originally for what, motorcycles, right, or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
they're motorcycle mirrors technically, but they'll work perfectly for what I'm doing. And basically the window trim section right here, I'm gonna run this through that. So these will stay gloss black. They're just like billet, I guess. And they'll bolt right to the window frame, and then these will hang out here. But we'll need to re-clear the outside of this like we do everything that's carbon fiber. But it's nice because you can get it in 2x2 twill, plain weave. There's a million different options for these mirrors. A lot of Lotus guys actually run them. But if anyone's interested, magicalracing.co.jp, they're awesome. I mean, they actually came a lot sooner, but I was out of the country when they got to my house and I needed to sign for them, so then they went back.
That's when you was drinking beer in the pool, telling people how you was selling the Datsun.
Yeah. Yep. Karma got back to me, and then I got my mirrors shipped back to Japan, and then he emailed me like, hey, by the way, I have
Oh
these.
snap! I didn't know they went back to Japan.
And
Damn.
then I had to get them shipped back here again, but he didn't even charge me to ship them back here yet, even though it was all my fault. So
That's pretty.
really shout out to those guys because they're awesome. But yeah, so we're gonna keep rock and rolling the thing. We need to get it done for the
Once again.
Global Time Attack stuff in August is when it starts in. I mean, the first one in New Jersey Motorsports Park, which is the closest one to us. I'm thinking maybe we'll try and do one of the Georgia ones, but that's kind of, it's like a 10-hour drive. There's a hole in my cat bag, or the cat's out of the whatever, you know.
Oh, I was like, what? you
Yeah,
got
right?
me.
Cat bag.
Yeah.
Cat's out of it. There's a hole in the cat bag.
All right.
But so we're getting rid of all of this. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with all this beautiful exhaust that Josh made me just to pretty much have it idle here in the shop. But we're going to run decent sized turbo, similar to the Xavier size, right back here. And then I actually did a whole section of drawings, which we'll skip to right now. Well, we'll keep my audio. All right, so this first photo is just kind of like a sketch, whatever that I did of the front of the car. That sick turbo chilling in the back. Now this section right here, the next one is the front lip added to it, and then we're gonna go and add the oil cooler to the corner. I decided to put the oil cooler on the driver's side here instead of on the passenger side, because the passenger side is gonna be where the turbo actually, whatever duct I make to vent air to the turbo is gonna be on that side. And so on the next photo, you can kind of see the little edge of aluminum that I was talking about that we're gonna be mounting this little upward scoop onto. And so this next photo is now got the upward scoop added to it. That sits behind the radiator. That will actually direct this air in the next photo through the radiator and scoop it up towards the hood. And then the intercooler is gonna sit flat on top of it. So, I mean, this is kind of like technically a top mount intercooler. Some people call it a V mount, but this isn't really a V mount because it's like a reverse of a V mount. But this will keep the intercooler piping super short, which is definitely good. Some people, it's kind of a controversial thing if it really helps you or not, but can't hurt. So keep the intercooler piping super short. It'll sit right on top, so it keeps all the weight back by the front wheels, not too far hanging forward like a front mount would. And then this next photo kind of has like the holes that I'm gonna be cutting in the hood. The back two holes are the same holes that we've seen that are from like the stock vents in the hood for the 280Z, because that's actually technically a 280Z hood. So we're gonna cut those sections out and then cut a section in the very center of the front of the hood, which this next photo then shows like the ducting we're gonna add to the inside of it. This will help brace the hood on the inside, but it'll also direct all the air that's coming into the front of the car through the radiator, up through that scoop, and then it's gonna come out here through all these holes, which is this last photo right here. So yeah, it's gonna be super aerodynamic. It'll suck in a lot of air and cool everything properly, but then also get it out of the engine bay, so it's not acting like a parachute and just catching a bunch
Like
of
a hot
air.
balloon. Dude, your drawings is on point.
Yeah.
I mean, got a new iPad.
And then this next photo of just boost, because we're hype. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I got an iPad, so I've been drawing stuff. Look for some shirts and weird merch later. New drawing stuff.
Touche. But global time attack for sure this year. It was a goal last year, but damn, we had
We
no
missed that mark.
idea. There's a lot of work that
it's a
needs
lot
to
of
be
work.
done.
But we should hit it now for sure. Absolutely. But then also on top of that, we also want to get it ready for the
Project Car Challenge.
Project Car Challenge for all these YouTubers.
Once again, if y'all didn't know,
so we can race a bunch of other YouTubers.
it will be there.
And that's also another reason that we're going turbocharged is because for both of those things, I want to have decent power and be competitive. And if I had this thing running and driving last year, then I probably would have left ITBs on it for a little while and did some testing. But we don't have time, so I'm just gonna run turbo setup. We already scheduled tuning and everything like that, so we got to get the turbo setups like built and running and ready and.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
all that
First
stuff.
turbo startup. Damn.
But
I
yeah,
got
so that's why I went back to the same stock manifold for now. But
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
RTBs
Anybody wants them?
still for sale.
DM me.
Can't wait.
All right, that's
Run my turbo too. You know I couldn't wait. It's right there.
all right. Well, that's a wrap for today.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, ring it.
Oh, and become a member. Think about it.